Hi, so we've been talking about the cloud, right? And you can't talk about the cloud without talking about the biggest player in the cloud, and we all know that to be Amazon. So let's give a quick little history of Amazon and how Amazon Web Services started, right? So Amazon, the largest e-commerce company out there, we all know that, and they were building data centers all over the world, right? And while they were building these data centers to serve their customers who were buying their products, they ended up with a lot of excess capacity when it came to servers inside of these data centers. And what happened is we had a company started called AWS. Nobody can say Jeff Bezos is not a really smart man. So AWS was born, and Jeff says, hey, I can go sell this excess capacity for money to people who don't want to go out and buy servers. So if we roll back the clock to 2006 and we think about this, if we're going out to buy a server and we're a developer and we're buying this server, this is going to cost some CapEx, guys, capital expenditure, which is fine when you're buying servers to run production environments. But when you're buying servers just to spin something up to develop, you want the ability to say, I'm done with it. Give me my money back. And as we all know, if we're doing something without CapEx, we're utilizing OpEx, operational expenses. So when Amazon came onto the scene, they had a lot of developers out there developing on top of their platform. And the company has just continued to grow and blow up. Amazon today, 35% market share of the public cloud space. That's a huge number, ladies and gentlemen. Closest competitor, you probably guessed it already. It's going to be Microsoft Azure with 15%. And coming on strong in the last 5 years, Google Cloud Services, right? They've got 5% of the market share. All three of these companies are what's known as hyperscalers. What, might you ask, is a hyperscaler? A hyperscaler is a company that utilizes white box technologies to grow as quickly as they can. And a white box technology basically is buying different servers from different manufacturers, filling them in to these data centers. Hyperscaling, it kind of means what it sounds, right? It's about scaling very rapidly, and hyper being the key word there. And as they scale, they continue to grow outward. They're growing like this. They're not going into these servers and adding in additional CPU and RAM, etc., to the server host. They just continue to grow servers and grow out widely. Other cloud companies out there utilize a different approach. They may use a FlexPod technology where they've got the same servers, cloud stacks we call them, all over the world. This gives a lot of consistency. You're running the same products. You've got a very high level of quality assurance when you're doing this. So two different types of ways to deliver cloud. As we mentioned, Amazon Web Services is certainly the largest. So when we look at Amazon today, why isn't everybody just using Amazon? Well, it's because you need expertise. You've got to have a whole bunch of really, really smart guys deploying and managing your service. Right? So if we think about it, if you look at a customer in size, who has a whole big IT team? Our enterprise customers do, right? So AWS, definitely the largest cloud servers to the enterprise market. It's because of all these really smart guys doing it yourself. So AWS does not offer any type of management to deploy or manage or maintain your applications running inside of their platform or their environment. It's all on you. Allows them to drive that cost way down, right? So the cost is going down. But these people are very, very expensive. So pretty much anybody watching today could go on to Amazon Web Services website and spin up a server. It's not hard to do. You need a credit card. You go into a template. You say, I want this type of an operating system. I want this many CPU, this much RAM, and this much storage. Execute, that server is spun up. That's where most of us would stop, guys, because we're not here. We're not these super brainy guys and gals. In reality, the key here is securing and managing those virtual machines or virtual instances within Amazon Web Services. That's really where this comes into play. And we've seen a lot of competition go out there today and say, all I'm going to do, I'm an MSP, I'm a managed service provider. I want to get into the cloud. I'm going to tell my customers, we're going to put you into Amazon, and I'm going to make my money managing your services. So do-it-yourself model versus a managed or a fully managed model is really what we're looking at today with Amazon. Certainly the biggest player, basically they're not going anywhere. They are all over the world, pretty much on every continent. And as the public cloud grows and gets larger and larger and larger, Amazon will continue to grow. As these companies grow as well, they're going to come in and take more market share. The key with Amazon that we all have to think about when we're talking to our customers, though, at the end of the day, we're going to get an invoice. That invoice is going to come from Amazon for all of our virtual machines and all the resources we're using. That's pretty straightforward. However, there is some unpredictability inside of Amazon's billing that is really important to note. First and foremost, bandwidth going into these data centers. As you all know, these are all connected and they all go out and connect to the internet. So one of the unknowns around Amazon is every time you're downloading your information out of Amazon, you're bringing data down, you're going to be charged to download that data, right? And depending on how much data you're downloading, that bill could be pretty large. We kind of call it the Amazon surprise. Customers upload a lot of information, not a big charge there, but when they go to download it, it could be a little bit of a shock on that invoice for you. So again, Amazon's going to be here. They're going to continue to be a great player in the marketplace, and just really wanted you to know a little bit about them today. Thank you.